Greetings again, godlings. It is rhetorically clear that you enjoy Warframe. But is it possible that the great mass of you also enjoy Transformers? Consider this. What if the next Warframe were indeed a Transformer? A corpus-themed Warframe that converts from bipedal anthropic shape to a stationary weapon of sorts. Aside from Valkyr, the likes of which are rooted within corpus lore, we have yet to see an actual corpus-based Warframe. Now please allow my words to be received lucid as I further elaborate upon this idea. Concept art will be provided as I guide you through this explanation. Due to Planes of Eidolon's release, we have been pleading for actual vehicles within Warframe. What better way to resolve that issue by introducing a Warframe that becomes a vehicle for others to pilot? Such a Warframe should be heavily based in team support. Ergo, its powers are primarily supportive. EMP, the first power for our converter Warframe. EMP will toss a shell similar in visuals to Vaban's powers. The shell may be affected by power duration and power range. EMP effectively disables enemy passives. Eximus units are rendered useless for a set duration, and forget about nullifiers, they will become jabbed. Additionally, EMP will negate negative passives placed upon allies such as bleed damage or toxic. Our second ability, Augmented Reality, shall deploy a beacon similar to Bayhead drones. This beacon follows the converter frame everywhere it goes for a set duration. Yet another ability affected by range and duration. Augmented Reality is designed to generate energy and shields over time. The shield generation will stack with powers or augments released by Mag, Harrow, Trinity, and Bolt. Augmented Reality will also aid the performance of the mod Fast Deflection, essentially making this mod less useless. Our third ability, Air Shock, designates a targeted area for bombing runs. Air Shock is a CC ability that has 4 alterations comparable to Vaban's traps or Ibra's quiver. You can choose between sticky clusters which lock your targets in place, confusion bombs which radiate the targets, ergo causing conflict between them, exposure bombs which highlight enemy weak points, stacking with Helios or Banshee abilities, or vampire bombs. Vampire bombs will coat your enemies with lifesteal beacons. Essentially, any enemy hit by this ability will have their life drained and given to you. The amount of enemies hit by vampire bombs will affect the amount of health return you get by a small amount. This ability is not affected by power duration, but its duration along with its effectiveness can be increased by power strength. Power range will also positively affect this ability. Finally, our fourth ability, Anatomic Manipulation, is the basis for why this Warframe exists conceptually. With Anatomic Manipulation, players using the converter Warframe transform into a stationary turret. Much like Mace's Peacemaker, the player is unable to move on their own, but they have 360-degree range of fire. The unique thing about this ability is teammates can actually click X upon you, pilot, and drive you. They control where they drive to while you control where you aim. Instead of counting this as an exalted form comparable to Excalibur or Valkyr draining energy over time, this ability should instead use its energy pool as its health bar. Ergo, you do not lose energy unless you are damaged by enemy units. Once your energy is reduced to 10, you will be forced out of your fourth ability. Converter players can voluntarily exit this form at any time, which will eject anyone piloting them instantly. Much like Hydroid, the converter frame can use other powers while in their fourth. Augmented Reality will synergize very well with Anatomic Manipulation. If the power strength is high, Augmented Reality can essentially heal Anatomic Manipulation under heavy gunfire. This ability is also dependent upon intelligent placement. So if you have an ignoramus for a driver, be sure to eject them immediately. Lastly, our passive, the converter Warframe actively heals sentinels over time. This passive has no range, ergo, it will heal any friendly sentinel no matter where they're located. Having 4 converter Warframes present in a lobby also means that you will have 4 times the healing effectiveness. This has been Thoth, the god of knowledge. If you enjoyed and or approve of the contents within this video, it is recommended that you like, share, and subscribe. This is stop powering down.